It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, in the village of Nothing Much today. I just saw that the trailer for our new show is out, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So many people tell me, I love your stories, but I cannot hear them. I am asleep so fast. Even if I think I won't sleep, I fall asleep. And sometimes I'd like to actually hear them. And a lot of people told me, that they use them not just for insomnia, but for anxiety, to feel grounded and calm and be reminded of good things during the day. So I kept thinking, okay, let's make a daytime version of the show. And that's what we've done. It's called Stories from the Village of Nothing Much. And Bob and I compile 3 episodes or 3 stories in each episode. And I tell them in my less sleepy voice. And there's beautiful sound design by Bob. And it's just a really lovely little way to drop into the village whenever you need to. When you're on a walk or on your commute, or it's been a rough day and you just need to feel welcomed into someplace safe and happy. You can subscribe right now. Head to your favorite podcast app and just search Stories from the Village of Nothing Much. You'll be able to hear the trailer, which I think is really beautiful too, and learn a little bit more about the show. The first episode will drop next Monday, the 11th. I hope you have a wonderful day. I can't just say sweet dreams now. Sweet days.
Welcome to the new podcast, Stories from the Village of Nothing Much. Like easy listening, but for fiction. I'm Kathryn Nicolai. A few years ago, I had the idea to create a podcast of bedtime stories to help folks relax and drift peacefully to sleep. And it works for millions of people all over the world. In fact, maybe it works too well, because my listeners often tell me that after a few weeks of listening, they fall asleep within seconds of hearing my voice. And sometimes they wish they could stay awake to actually hear the stories. Other listeners have told me how helpful the stories were, just for relaxation and soothing anxiety. And since that can happen at any time of day, I wanted to create a version of my show for listening at any time, without the fear that you might fall asleep. So we've compiled collections of some of our favorite stories. I've re-recorded them in a less soporific voice, so you probably won't fall asleep. And we've added some sound design to make the world of Nothing Much a little more textured. We think they would make for particularly good listening when you're out on a walk or doing chores or you're on your commute. If you've never heard my stories before, welcome. I write conflict-free fiction that is family-friendly and celebrates small, everyday moments. Not much happens in them, hence the name, and maybe you could relate to this. Sometimes those are the nicest moments in books, before the inciting incident, when it's just life. That's what I write about. My stories all take place in what I call the Village of Nothing Much, and if you listen closely, you might catch a few Easter eggs along the way. When you tune in, you'll hear stories about bakeries and walks in the woods, a favorite booth at the diner on a blustery autumn day, cats and dogs and rescued goats and donkeys, old houses, bookshops, beaches where kites fly and pretty stones are found. We'll visit the community garden to check on the tomatoes. We'll ride our bikes down a long gravel road and find a hidden garden in the moonlight. The farmer's market, the orchard, a little alley downtown where a lovely bistro has an open table waiting. The coffee shop, the inn on the edge of town, the cabin in the woods. I have so many stories to tell you, and they are all designed to help you feel good and feel connected to what is good in the world. Listen to Stories from the Village of Nothing Much, starting on December 11th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.